Welcome to Psychic Insights, where pop culture meets higher consciousness and the tea is always a little bit mystical. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and around here we don't just watch the drama unfold. We read the energy behind it, whether it's celebrity scandals, reality TV, chaos, or true crime with a twist. I'm tuning in to bring you the intuitive scoop the headlines miss. So buckle up, because your aura's about to get entertained. Welcome back to my channel. It's Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend. Oh boy. Thank you for being here. If you could do me a solid favor, like, subscribe, ring the bell. All right. And comment. It helps. Oh my God. Look at my hair. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Anyway, whatever. Don't look at my hair. We need to talk. So I popped on here because another development happened in the Laura Owens saga, and I think this is interesting. And the spotlight isn't on Laura today. It's now on her attorney. One of them. One of her many. But the most infamous, I think. Because the Arizona bar has filed an amended disciplinary complaint against David Gingras. I think I got his name right this time. And the allegation in this document are honestly pretty shocking. I don't know. Anyway, so if you've been following along with this story, you know the saga has everything. It's got fake pregnancy allegations, altered sonograms, courtroom drama, online battles, and about 1 million Reddit posts, X posts, Twitter posts, blog posts, posty posts. Anyway. All right. But this filing raises a completely new question for me. Why has David Gingras continued to stand by Laura Owens so publicly, even after everything that's gone down? I'm sure you're asking that too. Because if you watched his blogs or read them, or his podcasts with Laura and himself and his cat, the cat was the best part, or his ongoing lawsuits and his threats. Can't forget that. You know, he just hasn't represented her. He's championed her. So today I want to do three things. First, I'll walk you through what his new legal filing actually says. This new legal filing. And second, we're going to talk about the psychology of what might be happening here. And third, I pulled the cards. Oh my gosh. I asked the simple question, why is he so connected to her? Very simple question. And the cards, well, they had something to say about it. So let's unpack it. All right. So the new development is this. The Arizona bar has filed an amended disciplinary complaint against David Gingras in connection with his representation of Laura. And the complaint lays out a series of allegations of how he's handled the case. And I want to be very clear about something. This is just a complaint. It's part of the disciplinary process, so none of this is a final ruling yet. But what's interesting is how detailed the allegations are. And according to the filing, the state bar claims that Gingras may have done several things that violate professional conduct rules. You think? The allegations include things like continuing to pursue claims even after evidence suggested the pregnancy claim was incredible, failing to correct false testimony during hearings. It was before his time, don't you know? Publishing medical information publicly despite a court order restricting disclosure. And attempting to prevent a witness from testifying. You remember him, Mike. And making public statements attacking the judge in the case. Our girl, the queen, Judge Julie Mata. If you didn't see her in action, you missed it. She was fabulous. Now again, these allegations are just a complaint. They're in the complaint. But if you followed the timeline of this case, you know why this moment kind of matters, right? Because the court already ruled that Laura Owens altered evidence related to the pregnancy claim and provided false statements. And she was ordered to pay more than $149,000 in legal fees to Clayton Echard. So the big question is, what role did our attorney play in all of this? And that's exactly what the state bar appears to be examining. Finally, in my opinion. Remember, these are my opinions for entertainment purposes only. All right, so this is the head scratcher for me. Because Gingras hasn't quietly stepped away from Laura Owens. In fact, it's quite the opposite. He continues to represent her. He's appeared with her, on YouTube. He's written blog posts defending her, and more recently, he's been involved in legal actions connected to a YouTuber that's covering the case, or more than one. But in this case, it was just recent. So a lot of people watching the story probably have the same question. Like, why? Why, David? Why? All right. Why stay so deeply connected to a case that has become this controversial? You would think you'd want to just run away and do some other things. So I really wanted to do this in more of a thoughtful way because, lawyer-client relationships can be complicated. Attorneys sometimes represent clients who are unpopular or controversial. That's part of the legal deal, right? But this case has clearly moved beyond a typical representation. It's become a very public alliance, which is why I decided to ask the cards. So you know me. I pulled the cards and I was asking, why is David Gingras so connected to Laura? And I got dog, stork, clover, cross. That's not a surprise, right? Coffin. It's going to be the death of his legal career, I think. But anyway, we've got tree, we've got birds, and we've got Laura. And then for clarity, I thought, well, I'll pull some more because I wanted to see. So I got the ship, the tower, the structure, right? And the anchor. Now, if you read Lenormand, the spread is fascinating because it's just another great story. So let's start with our first card, the dog. Dog is loyalty. In Lenormand, dog often represents someone who stands by another person, even when things get difficult. So right away, the energy of this spread suggests loyalty, not necessarily strategy, loyalty. I mean, most of us would wonder why, but, we'll see. All right, now we have the clover and the stork. Okay, we've got these two. And clover is opportunity. And we know we've seen kind of David be more of an opportunist, I think. Maybe he had the chance, he was impressed by Ron Owens and his reputation and Jan Black and all of that. So there's a little bit of risk, there's a little bit of luck, but the stork represents a change or transformation. And together these cards suggest at the beginning of this situation, there may have been more of a sense of that this case was an opportunity. Maybe even an opportunity to change the narrative around Laura, which we kind of saw in his blogs, right? But then the tone of the spread shifts. Dun, dun, dun. We get the cross. Cross is heavy. Cross is a burden. It's responsibility. And sometimes it's even karmic weight. So something may have started as an opportunity, may have become an obligation. And then we get the coffin. We have the coffin. And this is where this represents endings. But the coffin doesn't always mean immediate collapse. It sometimes means something has reached the point where it cannot continue the way it has been. And then we have the tree. A tree is longevity, it's roots, something that has grown over time, which perfectly describes this saga. This story has been unfolding for a long time now. And then we get the birds. And birds is chatter, media, gossip, social media, podcasts, Reddit, Twitter, X, YouTube. This case lives in birds' energy. The public conversation around it has become part of the story itself. And in the final card, we see woman. Well, clearly it's Laura. Meaning everything continues to orbit around her narrative. Damn it, I really don't like this hair today. Okay. Better? Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. So then we have the clarifier cards, which ship, tower, and anchor. Okay. And the ship, if you remember, the ship is movement. It suggests the story is moving into a new phase. The tower is the card of institutions. This is the court, legal systems, disciplinary boards. Fascinating, these cards, right? So the energy here suggests the story is shifting from online drama into institutional review, which is exactly what this state bar complaint represents. And the final card is anchor. Okay, anchor stability, holding your ground, refusing to move. So the overall message here seems to be the alliance may have started as an opportunity, evolved into loyalty, became a burden, and now it's moving into the hands of the system. But someone involved may still feel very anchored to their position. Does that surprise anyone? All right. What I find fascinating about this entire story is the human dynamic behind it, because once someone publicly champions a controversial narrative, stepping away becomes very difficult, even if it should be done. It can feel like admitting defeat. Do we think we'd ever hear that? No. Or admitting you misjudged the situation. So sometimes people double down. I never understand that, but okay. Not because they're evil, but not because they're masterminds, that's for sure. But loyalty, identity, and reputation get tangled together, and that's why a case like this can take on a life of its own. And the Laura Owens saga started as a personal dispute, and now it's become much larger. It's a story about truth, narratives, public influence, and how institutions eventually step in when the chaos gets too loud. So now I'm curious what you think. Why do you think David Gingras has continued to stand by Laura? Do you think this disciplinary complaint will change anything? Or will the story keep evolving? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you enjoy this kind of deep dive into psychology and the energy behind these real world cases, don't forget to subscribe. I do appreciate it, because I don't think this story's over. I don't think David Gingras is done. Oh, and we've got a few more episodes coming up, and I really, again, I appreciate you for liking, subscribing, commenting, all the good stuff. It does warm my heart, and I appreciate it. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.